Good evening from a very excited Wembley Stadium. The place is a near sellout tonight for what all England hopes is the start of a brave new world. The streetwise soccer sophisticate Terry Venables has taken over the reins from Graham Taylor, and around 70,000 fans, curious and optimistic, all of them wanting to see how this first team shapes up against Denmark. Quite a few fans have travelled over as well from Scandinavia to support the Danes. David Platt, the new captain of England, named a couple of days ago. You got a shot as well of Peter Schmeichel. Now this is the man who's attracting all the publicity. El Tel, as he's known, Terry Venables. Only a few short months ago he was struggling with all the problems at Tottenham Hotspur. Brian Robson there with him, part of the new coaching setup. A new dawn, you wonder, for England, or a false dawn. Certainly Venables will have a honeymoon period, but he must hope that it doesn't all end in a messy divorce as it did for Graham Taylor. He's a man, though, well used to the limelight. Remember, he had a lot of success internationally with Barcelona, taking them to the Spanish Championship. Bert Milicic there on the right, among those about to be introduced to the players. There really is an air of great excitement around Wembley Stadium. The doom and gloom of a few months ago, when England was very depressed about failure to qualify for the World Cup, seems to have disappeared for the moment. Venables very much the people's choice, and it seems the choice too of everybody in the game. A massive operation was mounted to gauge opinion, and Venables was the man that just about everybody thought would be best to take over. Have been one or two clouds over his business affairs hanging over him, but that seems to be forgotten for the moment, and that's the mood of the fans. We love Tell. Let's hope they're still saying that in a couple of years' time. England's big aim, of course, is the European Championships, and England as host nation do not have to qualify, so there's plenty of time for experiment and to get things right. Lennart Johansson, the top man with UEFA, also among the dignitaries being introduced to the players. And Terry Venables, just for once, getting away from all the newspaper photographers. But he's a man who almost revels in the showmanship of it all and enjoys the banter with the press. That should stand him in good stead. Graham Taylor was not always comfortable in that particular media goldfish bowl. Well, some things never change, unfortunately. The pathetic and disgraceful booing of the national anthem of Denmark by some sections of the Wembley crowd. Well, plenty of support for England, but we really could have done without that booing during the Denmark national anthem. And you could see that it really fired up the Denmark players, as if they needed any further motivation. Just about every ticket was sold in advance for this game. And this is a picture for the scrapbooks. Peter Beardsley there, recalled to the colours. Would England's World Cup story have been different had he been included in Graham Taylor's selections? And Paul Gascoigne, who's fit. Let's check on the two sides for you. There are two new England caps in Terry Venables' first selection. Darren Anderton, the exciting 22-year-old Spurs winger, getting his first chance. And at left back, Blackburn's vastly improved Graham Lasso becomes the first Channel Islander to win an England cap. Peter Beardsley's back after 3 years away to win a 50th cap he thought would never arrive. And perhaps the best news of all, Paul Gascoigne, so often the inspiration, thought he'd broken ribs at the weekend. He is fit, so are Paul Parker and Paul Ince. Denmark have a new cap too, defender Carsten Detlefsen from Odense. There are three men who'll know the English players very well. Arguably the world's best goalkeeper, Peter Schmeichel of Manchester United, the Chelsea defender Jakob Kjellberg, and the Arsenal midfield man John Jensen. A very experienced side indeed, captained by the veteran Lars Olsen, and with the threat on the break provided by the dangerous and skillful Laudrup brothers, Brian and Michael, wearing numbers 10 and 11 there. A look at the substitutes. England with Southampton's exciting Matt Le Tissier on the bench, awaiting his debut chance. Ian Wright called in yesterday after an injury to Les Ferdinand, and Denmark have their league's top goal scorer, Søren Frederiksen, in reserve should they wish to use him, wearing number 15, Frederiksen. Denmark still with Richard Muller-Nielsen as their coach. That's the referee tonight, Jacobus Wielenberg from Holland. Everybody absolutely fascinated to see exactly how this Terry Venables side will play. His word is, don't expect instant miracles. It's a question of mixing and matching and trying to find the right cocktail, but he's looking for players with adaptability and versatility, and he says that they'll play a system which suits the players that he's picked. There's a lot of flair, a lot of excitement about the selection, but a win wouldn't half help to begin things off. Now here's the first touch in international football for Darren Anderton, 22, just 6 days ago, and Venables has always been a big admirer, even during Anderton's days down at Portsmouth. Paul Ince. The Danes, like England, have failed to qualify for the World Cup, despite their excellent performance when they came in at the last moment into the European Championships, having originally failed to qualify and won the competition. That's Vielfort trying to find a way through. Number 6, Henrik Larsson. Now here's Shearer. Reaper getting across there in front of him. They'll know about the threat from Alan Shearer. He was another one, Shearer, who was missing for crucial moments during England's World Cup qualifying campaign, but happily now well over his cruciate ligament injury. Here's Lasso. He'll have been told by Terry Venables to make the kind of exciting forward runs he does so often for Blackburn Rovers, and already that ploy has earned a free kick. Tony Adams has come forward. Beardsley in there as well. Gascoigne takes it, delivery not right. Lars Olsen got it away, and I think a flag was up for offside anyway. Two sides haven't met that often, by the way. England have 8 wins. There have been 4 draws and just 1 win for Denmark. when they beat England 1-0 here in the European Championship qualifiers 11 years ago. And that really was a very good Danish side. That was Jensen, the Arsenal man, getting it forward. Lasseau, Beardsley. Off to Paul Parker, who's got over an injury with a gash shin. Everybody keen to take their place in this first Venables side. Now Anderton. Here's Michael Laudrup. And the Danes just getting in a bit of a pickle there. Gascoigne foiled. No real pattern emerging yet. Good ball though from Michael Laudrup out to Detlefsen. And on towards Bent Christensen, who's in the side with Flemming Poulsen unavailable because of his club duties with Borussia Dortmund. David Platt, who enjoys La Dolce Vita in Italy. He's cost over £17 million in transfer fees. He's the man that Venables has chosen as first lieutenant out there on the pitch. Adams to Parker. England's first match since the 7-1 win over San Marino, which was too little and too late as far as the World Cup was concerned. Now here's Shearer trying to get the cross in. And that was played far too far in front of Detlefsen. Anderton. It's away by Kjellberg. 3 Premier League players in the Denmark side tonight. Gascoigne just straight into an offside position. The Danes, by the way, were very unlucky not to qualify for the World Cup. They got 18 points out of 24 in their qualifying group, but were squeezed out of it in a very narrow decision by Spain and the Republic of Ireland. Peter Schmeichel of Manchester United will certainly know the English strikers very well indeed from his Premier League exploits. Here's Beardsley, who just seems to be playing a little behind the front two. Paul Parker. Christensen beaten to the ball by Pallister. This is Detlefsen, the new cap. He's making his debut, the number 2. Plays for Odense and actually faced Arsenal in the European Cup Winners' Cup earlier in the season. Just over 5 minutes gone. England 0, Denmark 0 here at Wembley Stadium. A very, very full Wembley Stadium. Kjellberg's tackle on Gascoigne is penalised. Lasseau up towards Alan Shearer, and Reaper is the man who's got the marking job on the prolific Shearer. This is Graham Lasseau making his debut. Says he was very, very surprised indeed to be called up, but he's a player who has really resuscitated his career. A year ago he was in Chelsea's reserve team. Both these sides taking the first step on the road back, and the Danish fans, they've always been among the most exuberant in world football. How they enjoyed themselves when the Danes went to the World Cup in 1986 in Mexico, and plenty of them here tonight. They've flown over. The planes from Copenhagen were full of Danish soccer fans today. Tony Adams playing this one forward. Anderton just caught a wee bit late. Detlefsen playing the one-tour, attempting to with Brian Laudrup. Beardsley trying to orchestrate things, and this is broken through for Shearer, but it's offside. It's not going to count. The whistle already gone. And Peter Schmeichel having a few words to say to Shearer, and they didn't really look the friendliest either. Well, there's obviously a bit of feeling out there. Beardsley's ball through, and you can see that the linesman got it absolutely right. Shearer well offside. The Danes expected to play this pretty tight and look for things on the counter. Bent Christensen trying to pick up Michael Laudrup's run there, but not doing so. Here's Paul Parker. Anderton. Gascoigne playing with these injured ribs, but they've recovered sufficiently for him to take his place. Parker, and out comes Schmeichel so commandingly, and he did that really quite cleverly in the end, and almost launched a counter-attack. He's so adept at that as well. Now Lasseau raiding down that left-hand side. Good run from him, cut out by Kjellberg, the Chelsea defender. Well, Lasseau has obviously settled quite quickly. He's made a couple of runs down the left-hand side already. Anderton to take the corner. Goes a long way. It was Reaper who got up to head it away. Mark Reaper from the Danish champions Brøndby. And there's John Jensen of Arsenal, still awaiting his first goal for them, but a spectacular scorer for Denmark in that European Championship final against the Germans. Kjellberg and Reaper playing keep ball. Lars Olsen. Detlefsen trying to get forward down the left-hand side. ...25 years of age, so his first cap has come reasonably late for him, and he's interestingly had no background at all in the under-21 side before that. So his club form has broken him through into the national side. Reaper and Shearer together, as they have been all the time so far. Then Lars Olsen. Reaper once again. Played up towards Henrik Larsson. Pallister wins the ball in the air, as he does so often for Manchester United. Vilfort making the good run through. Ben Christensen in the middle here, and Christensen got for that first as well. Vilfort had made a run forward. And here's David Platt. Lasseau doing well to keep it in under the pressure from Jensen. Got the Danes there, showing some menace on the counter. Here's Michael Laudrup. Lars Olsen, who's now 33 years of age. That'll be offside. Olsen, who's winning his 77th cap tonight. Here's Adams again. A lot of people thought he might get the captaincy about a week ago, but Venables kept his cards close to his chest, and when the decision was made, it was Platt. At the moment, England just looking a little bit like characters reaching for the plot, but that's perfectly understandable. Trying to implement the new ideas, and they can sometimes be quite sophisticated ideas that Terry Venables is trying to get across. But always worth remembering that for both of these sides, it's a two-year plan aimed towards 1996 and the European Championships. Parker with the throw for David Platt. Made it easy, really, for Death Lefson, who did well to keep it in. Michael Laudrup. A very talented Barcelona player. He's another one with a whole bag full of caps to his name. 69 tonight. Ince forward to Anderton. Now Gascoigne. Gascoigne again. Beardsley, this is good. Gascoigne with a chance. Great save from Schmeichel, and Beardsley on the rebound spurns the chance to mark his return with a goal. But that's the closest yet. He did nothing wrong, Gascoigne. Tried to dink it over the goalkeeper. Lovely ball from Beardsley, doing just what he does for Andy Cole up at Newcastle. Good save from Schmeichel, who spread himself, and then Beardsley wide. Good football this, though, from England. Crowd liked it as well. But it was the magic of Peter Beardsley and his awareness that set all that up. Now here's Anderton this time. Looking quite comfortable, and a chance here, but Schmeichel is there again to deny David Platt this time. And Schmeichel reading the riot act to the Danish defenders. Just caught square a couple of times by some good running. Onside too. Couldn't reach it, David Platt. Well, England showing signs of just slipping into gear. Two highly promising and fluent attacks denied by the excellent Schmeichel. Brian Laudrup. He's a man England will have to watch. Both the Laudrup brothers are happily now back on side with the coach Richard Muller-Nielsen. They fell out in a big way. They were both out of the side for quite a long time, but were reunited in the Danish side for the later stages of the World Cup campaign. So England just building a little bit of a platform with those two promising attacks. Will there be more where that came from? Every England fan hoping that this might be the start of something big, in the words of the old song. Parker. Mix up between Ince and Gascoigne, allows Ben Christensen in, but he promptly makes a present of it to Lasso. And then instead of chasing back, stands around. That's a good ball through, and a goal for England! Brilliantly done. David Platt is the man who scored it, as he has so often in the past. And the perfect start for the new skipper. Well, England have been threatening that, and they took Denmark apart there. And David Platt has scored his 21st goal in only 46 internationals. And it was a strike worth waiting for. Lovely ball through to him. And then on the turn, Platt beating Schmeichel. Alan Shearer was the man who set it up. Perfectly weighted, expertly taken. Lovely diagonal run as well from Platt. And Kjellberg could do nothing about it, and neither could Schmeichel. The goal arriving on 17 minutes, the first goal of the Terry Venables era, scored by David Platt. England 1, Denmark 0. And that has really brought this Wembley crowd even more to life. Well, England had just given a couple of little warning shots to Denmark before the goal. And at the third time of asking, the ball was in the back of the net. Now here's Parker. Paul Ince, another one who was a little bit doubtful beforehand. Parker, England firing at the moment. Anderton. He's a young man who's had an exciting season even in the struggling Tottenham Hotspur side. There's Don Howe there with his natty hat, and Brian Robson to his left as you look at them. Substitutes behind, including the goalkeeper Tim Flowers, David Batty there, and Matt Le Tissier, far right, second row back. He's been on the bench before for England against France in 1992 and didn't get on. But he's been in great goal-scoring form. I wonder if we'll see him a little bit later on. David Seaman, the England goalkeeper tonight, getting the vote ahead of Tim Flowers. That must have been a close decision. In fact, Terry Venables saying he had 5 or 6 goalkeepers in mind. Reaper wins that in the air ahead of Shearer, who set up the goal for David Platt. Foul on Jensen by Ince. Well, Denmark playing keep ball at the back, but going nowhere fast. Kjellberg. Christensen complaining that the ball wasn't delivered correctly to him, and he was right to. He's not the tallest, Christensen. Lars Olsen. Brian Laudrup looking to cause some mayhem on that right-hand side. Good pacey run. What's on the end of it? Death Lefson is. This is dangerous. And Paul Parker getting back well to get that behind for the corner kick. Parker, who wins the vote for the number 2 shirt ahead of Rob Jones of Liverpool. There have been question marks in the past about Parker's distribution, but as an out-and-out defender and man marker, he is highly admired around the country. Up goes Seaman. That's a good punch, good enough. Gascoigne. It's cut out by Michael Laudrup. There's the through ball. It was a good one too. Death Lefson trying to get it back. The opposite number 2, Parker, making sure that no further mischief was caused. Here's Lars Olsen. Well, the Danes have got to try and do something about this now, and it might, certainly should, add to the spectacle. This is Michael Laudrup, the older of the 2 Laudrup boys by 4 years. Denmark's passing so far, not particularly impressive in the middle third of the field, it has to be said. Parker. Up towards Platt. Detlefsen, who started better than most for Denmark, getting the tackle in. Beardsley laying that back towards Gascoigne. Here's Platt. Parker knocking this one forward. Nothing wrong with that ball. Then Gascoigne on. This is Platt. Brought down by Henrik Larsson. Platt makes a forward run and nobody saw it. He was in space. Now it is delivered. It's delivered wrongly, but Denmark were totally and utterly asleep there, and Platt is saying, think I was in 10 yards of space, and that must have been a great chance for a second goal had England been alive to it all. And I'm sure that Terry Venables will be making a little note in his book about that particular situation. Pallister getting this away. Shearer. Lots of competition for those striking roles for England. Ian Wright on the bench, Les Ferdinand, who had to pull out of the squad with injury, and others like Chris Sutton and Andy Cole waiting in the wings. That looked like a foul on Detlefsen, but Denmark have possession, so it's play on, and just locked too long for Michael Laudrup. That's a lovely ball by Platt for Anderton. Platt again. And here's Anderton again. He's adept at delivering crosses with both feet. That one was a little bit on the short side, but it comes out to Beardsley. Just playing in that little role that the pros call in the hole behind the strikers, Beardsley. And looking effective there. That's Parker. Schmeichel just about reaches it. Well, when Spain scored their decisive goal, the one that knocked Denmark out of the World Cup, Schmeichel had come out like that and didn't get the cross. And Hierro was the man who scored. And it knocked Denmark out of USA 94. "25 minutes gone." Is Lasso looking to find a way through down that left-hand side. It's been quite an impressive performance, this, from England so far. They look to be carrying plenty of menace going forward. Hasn't always been the case in recent international matches. Lasso. Now Lasso going through with a challenge. David Platt, who'd taken a little bit of a knock at the other end of the field, seems to be all right again. Let's hope so. He's having an excellent season for Sampdoria, Platt. Now here's how this happened. Schmeichel, and I think he just may have caught Platt there, or it might have been Larsson behind. Purely accidental. Brian Laudrup. Trying to get that over in the general direction of Reaper, who'd come forward. Now Henrik Larsson. The Danes maybe just coming out of their shell a bit. Brian Laudrup again. Lovely close control he normally has. It's a good challenge though, and England can counter here with Beardsley. It's good to see him back, I must say. Anderton. Well, nothing you can do about that kind of thing. Platt just losing his footing. Darren Anderton, he could have played for Scotland. His dad is Scottish, and he even had Scottish youth trials. And Graham Lasso, the other new cap, they both started quite promisingly. And David Platt, whose goal separates the sides. Schmeichel disgusted with his miscue. Beardsley getting a big round of applause for his crossfield pass to Parker. And Gascoigne not able to control that, rather surprisingly. Now Vielfort. Vilfort and Jensen in the centre of the midfield for Denmark. That's their European Championship winning pair. Platt penalised for the challenge on Henrik Larsson, this man who was the top goal scorer for Denmark at the European Championships. Michael Laudrup coming ever deeper to pick up the ball. Vilfort's run forward. Shearer trying to spin off Reaper and get in behind there, but the ball just had too much forward momentum. 28 goals, Alan Shearer, for Blackburn Rovers this season. He's been in quite excellent form, though not too many just lately, which is probably bad news for Blackburn's next opponents. Reaper wins this one in the air. There's Ince out to his Manchester United colleague Parker, who'd made a run, but it was Platt who intercepted. Plenty of movement ahead, and this is onside. It was Gascoigne with the header, and Schmeichel with the save on the line. Denmark looking for the offside, but not when the ball was played, according to the officials. Now Bent Christensen. Michael Laudrup. Kjellberg. And that might have been dangerous because the Laudrup boys were waiting in the middle. Now Gascoigne, was that offside? Not according to the referee. It would have stood. Denmark, though, have a corner. Brian Laudrup to take it. And Seaman with a comfortable catch in the end. The header came from Jakob Kjellberg. Kjellberg, who's impressed everybody at Stamford Bridge. He was in the Chelsea side that shocked everybody by winning at Manchester United at the weekend. Had a good game there. And here's Parker, who also played on in that match on the losing side. Beardsley. Anderton tracking back well and winning back possession now. This is promising. Anderton in a lot of space. Near post run from Shearer, but it was cut back instead. And Shearer is just explaining to Anderton that he wanted the delivery to the near post, and I think an apology was forthcoming. Easy for Schmeichel. Tony Adams had come forward. And once again, Schmeichel looks to distribute with his hands. Does that very, very well indeed. Here is Brian Laudrup. Keeps it in play, pulls it back, and Seaman, that was very well done. And look at Bent Christensen there waiting behind him. That was an important save from David Seaman. One or two have questioned Seaman's temperament on the really big occasions. He, in the past, has performed better for Arsenal than for England. Now Shearer's found some space now. Anderton in the middle. Will Shearer go alone? He looked to. Anderton presumably was offside there. Shearer thinks that took a deflection on the way through as well, and is asking for the corner. At the other end, Brian Laudrup's cross, and Seaman plucking that out the air with Bent Christensen, a horrified spectator behind. He was expecting a header into an empty net. So forward to Beardsley. Henrik Larsson for Denmark. Now Michael Laudrup. The Danes just starting to get their game together and provide more threat now. Way by Adams. Larsson playing the 1-2 with Christensen. The so has to be quick, that is. One of the little subplots was who'd be the first Channel Islander to be capped, Le Saux of Jersey or Le Tissier of Guernsey, and the answer was Le Saux in the end, though Le Tissier may not be far behind. Henrik Larsson. And in the end, it's a poor ball forward after all that possession play at the back. So showing rather a lot of it to Villefort and just being caught by him. These two sides, remember, did meet in the last European Championships in Sweden. It was a 0-0 draw, but after that, very conflicting fortunes. England a massive disappointment, and Denmark going on to lift the trophy. England, though, leading 1-0 here from David Platt's 17th minute goal. Here's Parker. Olsen was the man who won it, but there was an offside against Brian Laudrup, who hadn't got back. 10 minutes to half-time. Platt playing it wide for Le Saux. Here's Kim Villefort, 31 years of age now, the Brøndby player. Well, the two goalkeepers having a game among themselves for a moment there. Ince forward to Beardsley. Shearer. Platt. The Danes get it away, and here's Michael Laudrup. And Anderton getting back and winning back possession too. Well, those are bonus points for him. Parker. Now Anderton. Oh, he's done that very well indeed to get past Henrik Larsson. This is terrific play from young Anderton, and Schmeichel there to take it off Shearer's head. But some virtuoso play down the right-hand side by Darren Anderton. Here's Barcelona's Michael Laudrup. He was one who missed the European Championship win, which will have been a big disappointment to him, but then he was having a row with the boss. Gascoigne, that's not his best ball. Bent Christensen, who plays his football these days in Greece with Olympiakos of Piraeus. Michael Laudrup, looks so composed all the time on the ball. Good challenge from Le Saux. Needed to be too, because Jensen had come forward. Now Anderton. Michael Laudrup again, and he's been by far Denmark's most impressive performer. Starting to pull a few strings in that midfield. Now Brian Laudrup, his brother. Tough baptism for Lasso to try and keep hold of him. Jensen had got forward. Then Vilfort with the cross. It's not away yet either. Lars Olsen, the skipper. And Pallister showing good composure to find Beardsley. Beardsley having an outstanding match on his return so far. And Gascoigne getting this wide for David Platt. Beardsley's made a run forward there. Timed it really nicely, and the run was almost picked up too. Now this is Vilfort. Only 3 home-based players in the Danish side. Deflefsen, Reaper, and Vilfort. Lars Olsen is with Sarang, the Belgian side. Jensen with the interception. Always plays that unfashionable role just in front of his defence. Sweeping there, winning important tackles, and it's he who feeds Michael Laudrup now. Bent Christensen. Easily cut out though by Adams, and now here's Parker. Henrik Larsson has picked it up for the Danes. Michael Laudrup. Christensen had made a run forward offside, though that must have been a pretty tight decision at the moment the ball was played, which of course is the key moment. Well, developing this into quite an absorbing contest now. Gascoigne, long, too long. This is Brian Laudrup. Now brother Michael. Brian Laudrup again. And Michael Laudrup dispossessed this time. He took a knock, but England, meanwhile, go romping away with Shearer. He's going alone. And in the end, the gap really was non-existent. And Beardsley was looking for it out on the left-hand side. Schmeichel throwing it out so that a player can receive attention. It's Michael Laudrup, the elegant playmaker. Well, already he's got a pretty full notepad. Don Howe, the great enthusiast about the game. Good to see him back in full health as well, Don. He's a very nice man. And interesting too, isn't it, to see Brian Robson there, part of the setup now. He'll be learning all the time about coaching and management techniques. 90 caps experience behind him. That's how Laudrup took his knock. Well, they can ill afford to lose him. Player of great experience, of course, with Brøndby, Lazio, Juventus, and now Barcelona. England with more matches as well planned. They've got a very, very tough one away to Germany next month. Germany, of course, loosening up for their defence of the World Cup. And it would raise a few eyebrows if England were to go there and pick up a result. It's officially a friendly, but is there ever really a friendly between Germany and England? I would suggest not. Now here's Paul Parker. Adams back to Platt. Nice fluent passing football from England. Hasn't taken them very far yet, but quite nice on the eye. David Platt has obviously been given a bit of a roving commission out there. He's been turning up on the right, on the left, back defending. And Beardsley's got quite a loose role as well. Gascoigne lying perhaps a little deeper than was often the case under Graham Taylor. Now Anderton. He's found a way through, goes for Shearer's return and eventually wins back possession. Anderton into Ince. Well, I must say there's a greater fluidity, versatility about this England side, particularly in attacking situations. They seem to be in a bit less of a tactical straitjacket. It's all looks quite promising, and they lead by 1-0 as Anderton takes this corner, and nobody able to really get any kind of firm header on it. Kind of skimmed off Adams's head. There we are, an Arsenal player clapping a Spurs one. You don't see that very often. He thought it was a good cross from Anderton. Last minute now of the first half, and a perfectly satisfactory one as far as England and the new man Terry Venables are concerned. Here's Mark Reefer with the header for Denmark, up towards Brian Laudrup, but it falls for Gary Pallister, very much established in that England defence now, though Des Walker's making a strong bid to win his place back. In good form for Sheffield Wednesday. Now Platt. Lasso took a deflection on the way through. Schmeichel having to stretch. Well, he can look back on his first 45 minutes in international football with some pride. Graham Lasso, done nothing wrong and quite a lot right. Playing injury time now. That almost fell for Beardsley, and Kjellberg was wrong-footed by the bounce of it. Now England in search maybe of a second before the break. Beardsley again. And there goes the whistle for half-time. David Platt's excellently taken goal on 17 minutes is the difference between the two sides. But Terry Venables, I would think, would be pretty pleased with the way England have shaped up here. They look to have plenty of invention, plenty of ideas in attack, and are deserving of that 1-0 lead at half-time. Good start for Terry Venables and for England. David Platt the scorer on 17 minutes. It's a happy Wembley because the home side are winning. England 1. And then instead of chasing back, stands around. That's a good ball through, and a goal for England! Brilliantly done. David Platt is the man who scored it, as he has so often in the past. And the perfect start for the new skipper. Well, England have been threatening that, and they took Denmark apart there. And David Platt has scored his 21st goal in only 46 internationals. And it was a strike worth waiting for. Lovely ball through to him. And then on the turn, Platt beating Schmeichel. Alan Shearer was the man who set it up. Perfectly weighted, expertly taken. Lovely diagonal run as well from Platt. And Kjellberg could do nothing about it, and neither could Schmeichel. Welcome back to Wembley Stadium as Denmark in their red strip get us underway in the second half. They're trailing by a 1-0, scored by David Platt for England after 17 minutes. And the verdict on Terry Venables' new-look England side after that first half, I think, would be encouraging. Reaper playing it forward for Denmark towards Bent Christensen. Terry Venables was at pains to point out in the build-up that the result wasn't everything here. He was looking for the style to work a little. This is Michael Laudrup trying to find a way through, knocked on by Henrik Larsson, and then Parker conceding the corner, the Manchester United fullback. Another whose international career looked to be in the wilderness a while back. Back comes Venables, having delivered his first half-time team talk. Michael Laudrup. Won by Adams, and then the shot from Vilfort, not really struck with any venom at all. Vilfort, who was on the score sheet when Denmark beat Germany in the European Championship final. Well, I hope he likes cameras, Terry Venables, because I've got a feeling he's going to be meeting quite a few over the next few years. Michael Laudrup, who's at the centre of everything Denmark have attempted tonight. Vilfort up towards Bent Christensen. Hasn't had a lot of change, Bent Christensen, out of Gary Pallister and Tony Adams. Now here's Anderton with a chance to stretch his legs. Shearer. Anderton continuing his run down the centre. It's typical of the freer roles that the England players have been given. Anderton certainly not confined to an out-and-out right winger. There's a hold-up here for an injury. Christensen, the player, down. Not been the happiest night for him so far. Had a little spell in Germany with Schalke, did Christensen. He's in the side because Flemming Poulsen is unavailable. He's not the first choice, number 9. No substitutes so far, but each side will be allowed 3 in this friendly, so we understand. Now here's Anderton. On towards Shearer, who's beaten by Reaper, and he's done quite a good job with him so far. Henrik Larsson to Michael Laudrup. Good stretch by Tony Adams. Needed to be as well. Lasseau completes the clearance. Will be interesting as well to assess this Venables side when they have a tough away game, as they certainly will when they go to Germany. And the defence may be asked a few more questions than they have been so far tonight, though Denmark may have other ideas over the next 40 minutes or so. Now here's Michael Laudrup. Platt. Anderton. Good ball. Finding Gascoigne. Vast difference in experience between these two sides. I've totted up the number of caps, and it comes to Denmark 465, England just 211. That's Dethlefsen. This is Brian Laudrup, is dispossessed by Lasseau. Gascoigne to Platt. Lovely turn and first touch from him into the space. That was so aware. Beardsley on his left. Here he is. Now Lasseau, it's got a bit tighter. And the cross is not what Shearer wanted at all. Lasseau knows it. By the way, a score flash for you from another friendly being played tonight. Wales, who haven't made the World Cup, 0. Norway, who have, 3. And that is only a later score. Not the best of starts for John Toshak, the new Welsh manager. It's Scandinavia are behind here. England 1, Denmark 0. Jensen fouled by Darren Anderton. This is the new cap, Carsten Dethlefsen. Still awaiting news of the official crowd here, but all expectations were that it would be around 70,000, which is just about the capacity these days at Wembley Stadium, now that it's an all-seater stadium which conforms to the modern safety requirements. That's Vilfort playing it into Jensen. Pallister was across. Beardsley. Jensen snapping at his heels. Anderton to Beardsley again. 33 years of age. On towards Shearer, back to Platt. Tried to just curl one and sneak one in. Not a bad idea. And with his goal-scoring record for England, he has every entitlement to try. Just looked up, tried the slide rule, but the maths were just a wee bit out. Jensen hitting it forward towards Vilfort, but Lasso in very quickly. Kim Vilfort playing it in. Now Lars Olsen, the skipper's come forward. Christensen calling for it in the middle, but Denmark prefer to be patient. This is John Jensen. Christensen again. Dispossessed, this time Ince was in very quickly. That looked like a foul by Reaper on Shearer, but England have possession, and the referee just acknowledging the fact that he saw it and wants to keep the game flowing. No arguments about that. Laudrup. Nicely off the outside of the foot, but not with the correct weight for the attack to develop. That's the Siemens view, with the gaudy electric scoreboard in his face down at the far end. And he hopes it still says Denmark 0 at the end of the night. Seaman, who had a clean sheet for Arsenal when they went to Torino in the European Cup Winners' Cup quarter-final first leg last week. Quiet start to the second half. England haven't quite found the rhythm they displayed in patches in the first half yet. I mentioned Norway winning 3-0 so far against Wales. They are due at Wembley in May, by the way, in another World Cup warm-up match for them. England with scores to settle. Norway, remember, qualifying at England's expense in the World Cup group. Now here's Platt. Ooh, nearly found Anderton, who'd got through. Michael Laudrup. A lot of movement ahead of him, and as Brian was one of those waiting for the pass which never arrived. Ince so tenacious in the tackle. Here's Platt. Anderton's up in support of him. Instead he goes left to Beardsley. And the Danes getting more players back. Now Beardsley's dangerous in this situation. Almost drops for Platt again. Denmark scrambling it clear, and in the end it's a long way off target. Well, so many times this season we've seen Peter Beardsley working his magic with his little drag backs in the penalty area to engineer the chance for a shot. I thought it was going to happen here, but Platt's shot is then blocked, and it comes out to Ince. And no problems for his Manchester United teammate Peter Schmeichel. Now Ince has just got a bit of a knock. He came into the game with something of a groin strain, Paul Ince, and a suspected fracture in one of his hands too. Jensen down injured. Wembley remains a spectacular sight when it's full and atmospheric like this. Although there is some talk of moving England matches to some northern venues in the future, though that is a debate that seems to have been going on for quite a long time without it ever actually coming to pass. Substitutes waiting their chance. There's Stuart Pearce, the former captain, there in the background. A lot of people thought he'd be left out of the squad altogether, but Derry Venables keeping faith to some extent with him, though Lasso getting the nod for the number 3 shirt. He's almost come from nowhere, Graham Lasso, in recent months. Never featured at all under Graham Taylor, not even in picks of 22. One in the air by Pallister. Wilford makes a present of it to Beardsley. Shearer. Platt again making a dangerous run forward, and Kjellberg getting it away, not very far though. Here's Gascoigne. Looked for the 1-2. Anderton just couldn't quite reach it. Ince snapping in with the tackle, keeping possession for England. Doing that unfashionable but very effective job. Lasso in. This is lovely stuff. Here's Anderton. A chance of a debut goal, and off the line. I think it was Reaper who got it away. And Darren Anderton was so close to getting on the score sheet in his debut. Well, really, really close. It's lovely football. Platt laying it off. Anderton tries to dink it up, and off the line. Platt's beautiful layoff, beautifully measured. Didn't really do anything wrong, Anderton. And Mark Reaper there in the nick of time. Still 1-0. Could easily have been 2. Ince's studs just catching the turf there. Well, how expensive might that be? Beautifully worked again, though, by England. And here's Anderton again. He's popping up all over the place now, being given free rein to move to the left if he wants to, too. He's just ahead of Lasso now. And rather telegraph the pass, Lasso. And Denmark can counter-attack if they're quick. Michael Laudrup. Lars Olsen coming forward. Still Michael Laudrup. Detlefsen in the space. He chooses not to use him. Here's Brian Laudrup. Great chance, and Seaman, who'd had a very quiet match, makes a fantastic save, but there was the danger. England then were sliced open by the Laudrup brothers. Michael to Brian. Your money was on an equaliser, but Seaman made a fantastic save. He really was. Superb reflexes to preserve England's lead. But Denmark there showing that they can produce danger. Wasn't it great play by the Laudrup boys, particularly Michael, who set all that up. Now there's a Denmark free kick, and David Seaman, who's had his critics as an England goalkeeper, notably in Rotterdam when England lost 2-0 to Holland. Some people blaming him for the Ronald Koeman free kick that started off all the problems, saying his positioning was faulty. Well, he's in a race with Tim Flowers for the top spot. He's got it, and he's earned it with that save. But Henrik Larsson, who really can strike a ball very well, is lining this up from, what is that, 30 yards. Goes for it, and Seaman had it covered. Larsson, who's had a bit of an unsettled time club-wise. He's with the Waldorf Mannheim. Now this is the Anderton chance again. He did that cleverly, nicking it over Schmeichel, and then in comes Reaper with that last-ditch clearance. Fairy tales obviously don't come quite that easy. Parker. Anderson again, but increasingly he's looking the part. Beardsley, who always has done. Good football, and again Michael Laudrup. Now Brian Laudrup taking on Tony Adams, who got back well. Not quite happy with the defensive organisation there, Tony Adams, but England here just being asked one or two questions by the Danes, who, having survived that big scare, now have a corner. Up goes Kjellberg, he doesn't win it. Adams did. Lovely turn by Beardsley. Chance of a counter-attack. Anderton on towards Gascoigne. Will he go alone here? Gascoigne! No, can't quite get there. Some good covering in that Danish defence. Lars Olsen showing all his experience. Anderton's ball was a good one. Gascoigne had no choice but to go alone, but Lars Olsen didn't allow him the shot. Now here's Gascoigne again, trying to bend one Willie, or will he try to go alone? No, again it's Lars Olsen who's there. He does have these very sore ribs, which he feared were broken playing for Lazio at the weekend. Gascoigne looked very doubtful when he arrived on Monday, but desperate to play, and has been past fit to do so, but I suspect he's not absolutely 100%. Now Anderton and Shearer reaching for it, and well, another couple of inches and that might have been in the net. Anderton's corner. Nice in-swing on it, and Shearer just couldn't grow enough to head that down or in. Jensen out to Detlefsen. His challenge is penalised, though he did seem to play the ball. Referee, though, was a good deal closer than I am. Brian Laudrup was the player who just took a bit of a knock. Lars Olsen still has it. Reaper out to Michael Laudrup. Ooh, that almost found its way on towards Christensen. Denmark will have another try with Henrik Larsson. Beardsley trying to get it back off Michael Laudrup, but it's proved a pretty tough job for the most part. England have been prepared to let Michael Laudrup have the ball and try to play make in the middle third, as long as he's not coming into dangerous positions. Brian Laudrup trying to get through this time. Now Lasso. Anderton, quick enough. Oh, super play by Anderton. He's beginning to really turn it on, the youngster, on his debut. Gascoigne. Well, he's enjoying himself, isn't he? And what a night it is for him. I know he's had a lot of good luck telegrams from people at Spurs and from his former club, Portsmouth, where he was given his chance by Jim Smith. Here's Vilfort. Back to Detlefsen. The Danes serving notice once or twice that they're by no means incapable of coming back here. But here's Ince on a surging, driving run. He was held back by Vilfort. Free kick. 20 yards out. And from these kind of situations, normally Stuart Pearce would get the vote to blast one, but England have other options. Clear foul by number 8 on the other one. So Gascoigne and Anderton are there. So too is Lasso to use his left foot if he wants to. It's going to be Gascoigne, and he didn't get it right. Substitutions for England. David Batty and Matthew Le Tissier are going to come on. Le Tissier will be making his debut. And Gascoigne, who has been carrying that injury, off he comes with a shake of the hand for Darren Anderton. And Paul Ince is coming off as well. So Batty will quite clearly play the Ince anchor role in the midfield, the holding role. And Le Tissier will come in with what one would suggest pretty much a roving role, which is what he has at Southampton now. But it's a big chance for Matthew Le Tissier to prove that he can be an England player. His talent and skill is absolutely undoubted, but there have been question marks often about his level of commitment sometimes and consistency. But lately for Southampton, he really has played well. Here he is. Detlefsen, good pacey burst, and he's caught late by Parker, who I wonder if Parker might go in the book for that. He walks away as if he looks as if he hasn't got a care in the world, and happily Detlefsen is not going to make a federal case of it. But I think it was an honest attempt to win the ball, which was mistimed quite spectacularly, as it turned out. But here comes the free kick. Seaman, no problems. Final score in that Wales-Norway game I've been mentioning. Wales did get a goal back. Wales 1, Norway 3, but that's a thoroughly successful evening's work for the Norwegians as they build up towards USA 94. Unhappily, neither of these two sides will be on the big stage in the summer, but there are other fish to fry. Parker under pressure from Henrik Larsson, who fouled him according to the referee. Henrik Larsson, as you might have gathered from those pictures, didn't exactly agree with the Dutch referee's decision. Ince, by the way, did have a bit of a knock coming into the game, which I suggest is why he's been taken off. Here's Anderton, dreaming of that first goal, and over the bar from Le Tissier, who was also dreaming of a goal as well. Well, the chance arose for him again. Anderton's penetrative run helped to set all this up. Fell nicely for Le Tissier, and he scored from that kind of range in spectacular fashion often this season for Southampton. In fact, he hardly ever seems to score what you'd call an ordinary goal. They're all absolute belters. Here's Batty, player rejuvenated by his move to Blackburn Rovers, as Lasso has been. Anderton again in towards the enigmatic Le Tissier. Now Batty. Chance here for Terry Venables to assess one or two other options. Beardsley in towards Platt. Now Anderton. Too hot for Schmeichel to handle. Well, he's having a fine match, isn't he? Here's David Platt. Anderton again, and he's seeing a great deal of the ball. Quite often when players are making their debuts, they tend to have a quietish kind of game, but Anderton has been involved very heavily, especially in this second half. Here's Lasseau. Well, Platt was trying to pick up Anderton's forward run there. And Denmark are going to bring off Vilfort and Christensen. One of the players coming on there is Jes Hu from Brøndby. And Søren Fredriksen, the top goal scorer in the Danish league, also being introduced. He plays for Silkeborg, a club who've been surprising a few people in Denmark. They've been leading the Danish league. Who is a midfield player. Fredriksen will play out front in Christensen's place. Here's Batty. Batty, nicely done to Platt. Now Anderton. Platt again. Beardsley to Lasseau. All look quite promising up until there, but here comes Fredriksen. Fredriksen, by the way, the number 15, is making his debut. The Silkeborg striker. Laurie McMenemy there, who I know had a long chat to Matt Le Tissier about going onto the international stage. Lou Chatley there, also on the Southampton management team with him, and Alan Ball, I know, is in the audience as well tonight. The new Southampton manager, and doing quite a good job so far. Reaper was fouled. Well, it would be a good result for England if they do beat Denmark, because they proved in their World Cup qualifying group that they were a tough side to beat. Only Spain did it, and that was by 1-0 in the last match. Batty now trying to orchestrate something for England. Beardsley wide to Paul Parker of Manchester United. Now Anderton on the turn, taking on Henrik Larsson, and that looks like a corner. Anderton with that corner. Nodded on by Pallister dangerously. It's come back out to Anderton again. Cross, not quite such a good one. Batty. Pallister under a bit of pressure from Fredriksen and Seaman too. England just being forced to hurry. Le Tissier. And again Henrik Larsson with plenty to say to Mr. Wielenberg, the Dutch referee. But here's Beardsley. England playing some pleasing football, and they might have had more than the 1 goal that they have on the score sheet already. Batty to Parker. Certainly the side a lot different in style to the sides put out by Graham Taylor. A lot more intricate passing and a lot more fluidity and movement, and a freer rein for more of the players. This is Kjellberg. Here's the substitute Who, which isn't spelled W-H-O, in case you were wondering. It's H-O-G-H. Trying to measure that one through for Søren Fredriksson. Successful return for Peter Beardsley. Had a £50 bet, Beardsley, with his manager at Newcastle, Kevin Keegan, that he would never win a 50th cap. Keegan always told him he would after he signed him, and Keegan has won the bet, and Beardsley is extremely happy to pay up. £50 for 50 caps. The question is, will he still be around in 1996? No reason why not. He's 33, he'll be 35 by then. But he's a very, very fit player. Never drinks, never smokes, and is in love with training as well, Peter Beardsley. I remember asking him once if there were too many matches, which is a big argument in English football, and he said there can never be too many matches for me. I'd play every day of the week if they'd let me. Beardsley measuring this one for Paul Parker on the overlap here. Shearer waiting in the middle, not a good ball from Parker, and that's where the attack broke down. And as we were saying earlier, if Parker does have a weakness, it is in his passing. They have been working on that at Manchester United. Lasso's taken a knock, looks like his elbow, but he's got up smiling. Play goes on. Brian Laudrup unable to control it. Here's Pallister. Well, the England crowd, the Wembley crowd, who can be quite critical and hard to please, are delivering their own verdict, really, on this England performance. I think they approve. We're now getting the old Mexican wave going around the ground. Amazing the way that's kept going since 1986, isn't it? Pallister. Seaman again, who made that great save. Well, they've paid good money to be here. They can do what they like, really, within reason. Batty again. Blackburn paid £2.75 million to Leeds United for his services earlier this season, and Howard Wilkinson, I know, opposed the move. It went on against his wishes, the Leeds manager. Here's Platt. Beardsley. Anderton ahead of him, and not quite measured this time. Can the Danes strike back? They have come close, and Seaman handling that comfortably enough from Jensen. And the Arsenal player trying to beat his own goalkeeper at Highbury. Still hasn't scored for Arsenal, by the way, Jensen, since he moved over 1.5 seasons ago now. Ho. 10 minutes to go. Michael Laudrup, he's dangerous. Bounces off Adams. Fredriksson. Henrik Larsson. England have got to keep their concentration. Detlefsen. England have dominated the match in many ways, but there still is only this one-goal cushion for them. And here's one of the men looking to put his name up in lights for Denmark. Fredriksson, his big chance tonight, as it is for a few of the England lads. And the Mexican wave continues. Batty. Oh, that was a good turn by Michael Laudrup. And belatedly, the referee decides it was a free kick. Jensen can't pick up Michael Laudrup's run, and England have another chance, but Letitia can't find a way through this time. Brian Laudrup. Oh, that's nicely done towards his brother. Kjellberg. Anderton chasing back. Kjellberg gets a lucky break, and then Fredriksson with the cross. Parker is coolness and composure itself. And Jensen swapping a word or two with his teammate David Seaman. And now they're coming out with a rendition of the England Rugby Union song, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. So I think the crowd are letting Terry Venables know that they've quite liked what they've seen so far. It may not be the finished article, but for the 70,000 or so fans here tonight, it's been enough to be going on with. But the result is not secure yet. It's 1-0. We're in the dying minutes. England, by the way, are trying to arrange one or two other friendlies. Greece, who are in the World Cup, may be coming to Wembley. The referee just getting in the way of things. Now Platt had an excellent match in his first game as captain, setting a shining example, capped by a goal. He thinks he should have had a free kick. He's picked up one or two little gestures from Italy, hasn't he, during his time there. A prayer to on high for the free kick, notably. He's come a long way from Crewe, hasn't he, David Platt? Here's Lasso. We now have both Channel Islanders on the pitch. Well, I wonder what he thinks about it all. We'll soon find out. There'll be the usual exhaustive press conference after the game. Lasso's intelligent back header. By the way, Richard Moller-Nielsen, the Danish coach, had his first game in charge of Denmark here. And that was a 1-0 defeat, with Gary Lineker scoring the goal back in 1990. Will it be the same result for him tonight? Anderton looking to add to the scoreline. He really has worked very hard and looked very impressive. Beardsley. Batty back to Lasso. Dispossessed by Brian Laudrup. Now, what can the Danes do here? Is there a sucker punch coming? On towards Fredriksson. And he nearly managed to squeeze that past David Seaman. An England defender might have got the last touch in there. But this is another sign that the danger is there. Fredriksson and Parker, and it bounced back off Fredriksson by the look of it. And wasn't far away, although the corner's been given, so the referee's verdict is that Parker got the last touch. And the video replay there seemed to indicate that maybe Parker had hit the ball against Fredriksson and then it had bounced wide. Well, Parker came into the match with a gashed shin, received in the Manchester United match against Chelsea, and this is how he picked up another injury. He's not comfortable. It was a bit further wide than it looked from the previous angle. Fredriksson knows he was quite close there to grabbing a bit of glory. England's nerves and concentration being tested. Up comes Seaman for this. It's not a good corner, really. Too near the goalkeeper. No real pace on it either. Alex Ferguson will be glad to see that Paul Parker is all right again, the Manchester United boss. Title race warming up quite nicely in England between Manchester United and Blackburn, who play each other, by the way, at the beginning of next month. Batty to his Blackburn colleague Lasso. Brian Laudrup. Anderton, and that coltish stride of his to Beardsley. Anderton continuing his run. I'll say I haven't seen an awful lot of Shearer tonight. He's had a quiet game amid all of this. Perhaps not quite at the top of his form just at the moment, Alan Shearer, after a phenomenal goal-scoring run just prior to recent matches. Inside the last 3 minutes we are now. Parker, who seems to be all right again. And Shearer rather misplacing the pass back as if to underline the point I was just making. Two minutes to go now. 2 minutes between a morale-boosting win for England after their World Cup traumas. Have to say that over the piece, over the 90 minutes, England have been well worth their one-goal advantage. But the Danes have had their moments. And David Seaman having to make one excellent save to deny Brian Laudrup in the second half. Platt to Batty. Pallister. Under a minute to go now. Anderton. Death Lefson with a good interception. And Tony Adams coming in with the header again to keep play for the moment in the Danish half. This might be Denmark's last chance. Michael Laudrup. We're probably reviewing the performance. The highlight has been an outstanding debut for England by Darren Anderton. And Peter Beardsley with a successful recall as well, though he has not been quite as prominent in the second half as he was in the first. Inside injury time now. England trying to sense a second with Le Tissier, who hasn't had a lot of chance to shine since he came on. Solid debut too for Graham Lasso. And an outstanding performance by England's captain, David Platt. But here's Michael Laudrup to Jensen. Well, he doesn't quite seem to have his shooting boots on since he arrived in England. John Jensen, who's nicknamed Fax, which I understand is after a Danish beer. It all has something to do with some strange initiation ceremony they have at Brøndby, where they pour the beer over players. And the whistle goes to signal a debut win for Terry Venables. Shakes hands with Richard Moller-Nielsen. It's the result that all England wanted, and it's got Terry Venables' reign off to a successful start. He'll be happy. There were enough encouraging signs there. David Platt's goal decided it after 17 minutes. And though he's not smiling at the moment, I'm sure he's got a quite nice warm feeling inside, though there are much, much bigger tests down the road for Terry Venables. 2 years of friendlies before the European Championships. No wonder Darren Anderton is being congratulated. He really did have a very, very impressive debut. And I'm sure he's here to stay for the moment anyway. So the final score from Wembley, the ideal start for Terry Venables. David Platt's goal deciding it. It was England 1, Denmark 0.